What's up, guys? So I've gotten quite a few questions, and I'm gonna try to shoot this here. I know the light might be a little off, but I'm gonna try to get this as close so you guys can see what I'm doing here. So I painted all my emblems on my 3500 white and black to match, to kind of better match the truck. All right. And I've been working on my 1500, my wife's 1500 anyway, Ram. So I've kind of got these all pulled apart. So if you look on the back here, you get all these little tabs, and you're gonna see holes in them now because I've went through with this small screwdriver and I've kind of popped all those tabs off, so you can pull this apart. And I got it cleaned up a bit so I can put it back together after I paint them. But if you look, and some of these are for the letters that were in there for the 1500 that this one says. But all those little plastic tabs, they're like melted. So these go together, and then they're like melted together. It's best way I can describe it there. But so there you got the bezel piece. And that's the bottom piece that's behind it. So they're gonna be black, but I'm gonna add purple here. So the Hemi will be purple, and then the letters, the 1500 here, which I got all the pieces broke off over here, pulled off. That's one of the zeros. These will be purple. So they're gonna be black and purple for her truck. Because purple is her favorite color. So let me show you how I do this. So that's one of the hood ones that go on the left side of the hood. And I've kind of started on this one already. And these ones are different than the 3500s. The 3500s, like every little piece is snapped together like that. These, the 1500 on it, so the letters will come off. And these are an actual part of the base. The word Hemi 5.7 is actual part of the base. On a 3500, those were actually little letters that you had to pop out, that I had to pop out individually and paint and then put all back together. So this one's gonna be a little bit more simpler because it's got less pieces. So I don't know if you can see this here, but I popped that off already. I popped that one off already. These are still here. That's what they look like. So basically the front side plastic comes through the back side, and then it presses down on the little tabs and it melts them to hold them together. But it's really not that big a deal to pop these apart. And again, I just got a small flathead screwdriver, and you just work it in there and it'll pop off just like that. That just leaves you with a little tab there sticking through. And that's good. I'll clean that up when I get it all pulled apart. And then when I pop this back together, I'll go back over the top of all these little tabs and I'll glue them all back in, which holds it together really good. My truck's been done for probably about a month and a half to 2 months now. Paint held up great, and they're all still together. They're holding pretty good. So that's all I do is I go through there, figure out, you know, which one's got to get popped off, and I'm taking it all apart so they all do. And you just kind of get in there and work the screwdriver, and it's just plastic, so it pops off really easy, just like that. Kind of work the screwdriver in there and pop them apart. So as you do that and get them all worked out, this is what you end up with. Let me pick the camera up so you guys can see a little bit better. Let me get this moved. Give me just a second, guys. Trying to get this laid out here so you can see what's what. So for these ones, that's what you end up with. The backing plate, the 1500 that goes over here, right? Those will snap back into place there. And then you got the bezel piece that'll go across that. So Originally, I was worried that the chrome was gonna flake and chip after I painted them, but I haven't had a problem with it yet. I just use scuff pads for painting. You can get, I use the gray ones, not the red ones. I don't even know if I have any more here. I usually keep a whole bunch of them around. At any rate, scuff pads to use. Where's my paint stuff at? I don't know where my scuff pads are at. When I get ready to sand them, I'll show you guys the Scotch Brite that I use. That's basically all it is. It's just scuff pads, automotive scuff pads for lightly sanding. And you can get red or gray is generally the 3M ones that you get. And the gray ones are less aggressive. So I use those and I just sand this stuff really good. And then everybody's asking me if I use aerosol cans, and I do. But you can get this Dupli color perfect match. So this is the original Chrysler. This is the white that I used for my truck. There you go. So that PW7 is the paint coat on my truck there, and this is the bright white. So mostly any automotive store around will have these. If you want to get like a perfect match, you know, if you're gonna match it to the truck, you could have actually aerosol cans mixed up with the right paint code that you need for your vehicle. But it makes it super easy to do, not too hard. But I'm not gonna match hers to her truck, so these will be. She's got a black truck actually, so I could, I suppose, match them, but everything that I want to stand out on them is gonna be purple, so it doesn't matter. I'll just find the color purple that we want to roll with, and I'll paint them with that. So pretty simple. It'll take a little while. As long as you take your time, you'll be all right. You'll be able to pop this stuff all apart. I'm gonna do the back emblem too, and it's pretty much the same way. There's the ram head that goes on the tailgate. Here's the top piece, so the bezel piece. Sarah, let me get my fat fingers out of the way there. There's a bezel piece there. This will get all sanded down. So with the ram, these letters actually pop out, so it's the same deal. It's just got the two little, let's see if I can get it to focus, two little plastic tabs that pop through it. And you just pop those off on the back of it, and the letters themselves will pop right out. Just like that. So this bezel will be black, the letters will be purple, and then the backing plate, this will all be purple. So you're only going to see the parts that stick through, which is basically here, here, and here. I'll show through purple on that when that's put back together like that. So all right, I got quite a few questions asking me how I took these apart and painted them, and whether or not I used aerosol cans to paint them, and I did, but I used the actual paint color to match the paint code for the truck on mine to match the white. So here, I'll show you guys the ones on my truck. My truck's sitting outside. It's kind of dirty right now because I didn't wash it. Oh, it's gonna be another hot one today. So mine came out pretty good, and I've changed hers already. I'll show you the 1500 here. I've changed hers already to black, and I've been working on debadging this whole thing. So I'm not actually gonna paint those. One that I took apart, I just took them apart to show everybody how they come apart. I'm gonna paint these ones. So I bought like flat black ones to replace the truck, to black it all out. So I'm gonna pull these off and actually paint these. So this will stay black, and this is gonna be like, this will be the purple color in there, and then the ram will show purple. And then the same thing with the hood. I popped those all apart to show how I got them apart, but it's a little wet here. Morning dew. So that's what it'll look like. The bezel will be black like that. And then the Hemi 5.7 will be purple and the 1500 will be purple. But this is how my truck came out. I left them black and painted the ram white, painted the backing white on it. And it's held up great so far. And these were all painted. So these were chrome ones before. So I kind of tested it out to see if it would work. Like I said, it's been on there for a couple of months now. And I haven't had any issues with it. As long as you scuff the stuff up really good and get it nice and smooth, it'll come out pretty good. And there's the sun kind of in the way, but there's the 1500. Those are smooth too. Or the 3500, I'm sorry. So, and these were chrome as well. These were all the original ones on the truck. So I popped them all off, took them all apart, and painted them. So this was all chrome before, all this was. And this was actually red here. The heavy duty was in red. And these letters on these ones, for whatever reason, aren't on the backing plate. Like, these are actual letters that I had to pop out, paint, and then glue all back together. So, yeah, it's not overly hard to do. It just takes a little bit of time. You take some time, and you can pop them apart and make them look really good. And I'm gonna do the same thing with the front here. I just haven't popped those off yet. But I don't know if I want to do them black. I may just do them purple because the grill's all black. I'm just gonna pop the ram off there, and we'll scuff those all up and paint those purple too. So, all right, I'll get another video out here when I get these things painted, and show you guys the process of that. It'll be a little later today, or maybe I'll just add it on to this whole video and make one video of it, of getting it all scuffed up and painted. So, all right, that's it. We'll talk to y'all in a little bit, and that's what it looks like before it's painted. So, all right, appreciate you. Talk to you in a bit. I'll add on to this video and show you what it looks like to scuff them up and paint them. All right, guys, here, I wanted to show you this real quick. And then I'll show you, I mean, I don't think I need to show you guys scuffing this up. You should know how to sand something by now, I guess, if you're gonna attempt doing this. But this is a Scotch-Brite pad that I was talking about from 3M. All right, local automotive store, local paint store, automotive paint store, you can get these. So I generally keep a bunch of this around. So I got gray, a few packs of gray here. And I think when I did my truck, I actually used 2 of these. So I used 1 pack in it. I sanded everything, all the emblems on my truck when I had them pulled apart and painted them. And you can get red too. The red's a lot more coarse, so it's gonna scratch it up. Generally, these are used for metal, right? For scuffing up metal, so you can paint it. So kind of stay away from the gray on these plastic pieces here, or I'm sorry, stay away from the red on the plastic pieces here. Get you some of the gray and scuff this stuff up. And as long as you scuff it to the point where it's not shiny anymore, this is how I did mine, right? So it needs to be real dull and not shiny like that anymore. You'll be just fine. It'll cover up. Like I said, my truck, they've been on my truck for a month and a half, 2 months now at least. I've had it painted. It's been washed and waxed and drove on the freeway and everything else, and I've not had a problem with the paint peeling off. So obviously the devil's in the details, right, on getting everything sanded enough and making sure you get into all these little contours and all these little crevices really good while you're sanding. And I use I have some interior tools I use, and I have some plastic scrapers like this, and I'll put the Scotch-Brite on the end of it, make sure I get into all the little creases and stuff if I can't get far enough in there with my finger just sanding on it. Because you want it to all look dull and all be scuffed up, and then you won't have a problem with the paint sticking to it. And you can go from there, no big deal. So we'll see what they look like. I'm gonna give it a shot again. I don't have any purple paint here, so I'm gonna have to make a trip to the store and get the paints that I need. And I could actually get the black paint that matches the truck, but I want them to be flat black. So I'm just gonna use some regular old flat black to paint the sections black on it. And then I'll find, see if I can't find me a good purple color to put in there. So, all right, that's it. I'll show you the process of painting. It ain't that big of a deal. I didn't prime the ones last time on my truck, although I probably should have. But it held up pretty good. So it is what it is. I may prime these ones though, because I don't want to have a problem with them chipping down the road. It was solely an experiment when I did my truck, and it came out pretty good. So now I'm gonna do it to the wife's and see if I can get it to come out good again. All right, we'll see in a few. All right, guys, so I got everything sanded, and I kind of got it taped vertical on this box here. Just going through and tack cloth and everything off, just getting all the dust off everything. And I paint them like this. You got to be real careful with the paint. You can't put it on too heavy. Obviously with it vertical like this, you'll create runs. But I do this because it comes out a little bit cleaner here in my dirty garage. That'll never be clean. There's all kinds of dust and stuff blowing around in here. So we just tack it off real good, and I put it on the vertical like this, all the pieces, and they're basically just taped to the box. That way we don't get a lot of dust settling on it. And here's the other stuff that's gonna go black. So this will be the Brilliant pearl coat, black pearl coat, or whatever the heck it is. This will match the truck, and everything on the other side will be purple. So what I'll do is I'll spray this first, and I got a fan blowing, and then I'll cover it up. I'll put another piece of cardboard across the top so there's an overhang once I get this stuff coated. That way I don't have the purple overspray coming on the box on this side and getting all over everything it's not supposed to get over. So there's the purple. So it should look pretty good. And then, like I said, the black is just gonna be color matched to the truck. So this stuff will all be purple. The letters here, I got those all taped off. Got to be kind of easy when you're painting these, because you can't get the paint too thick. Because if you do, it's not gonna fit back into the cover plate the way that it's supposed to. So just take your time. And I've never really had the stuff come out bad, so they generally look pretty good. And I'll take this tack cloth and wipe everything off too, so I don't want dust when I start spraying to get onto everything. So let me get some coats on this stuff, and we'll see what it looks like when it sets up and it's ready to go back together. All right, guys, we're hitting it here, and that's what the purple is gonna look like. So it's drying now. I might have to do another coat, and then I uncovered this. So all the black's done too. And again, I used the Duplicolor Brilliant Black Pearl. So it's the, let me take this respirator off so you guys can hear me. So it's the actual paint code for the truck. So the black's done. And I'm just hitting the purple. I think I'm gonna end up doing maybe one more coat on the purple, and just to make sure I got all the edges and stuff. Kind of looks like it's darker in here, but that's kind of the way that the light's hitting it. So I'll do another light coat over top of that, just to make sure I got everything covered good. But yeah, it should look good. I've never had a color like this. So it's like that. It's supposed to be like anodizing or whatever, but it was the brightest purple I could find. So we'll see how it looks. And on this, you ain't gonna see much. All you're gonna see is that area, and then that little bit of area up there. So that was my main focus, making sure that stuff was all even and colored and covered correctly. So yeah, I don't know, it's looking pretty good. And hopefully no bugs land in it. And we'll see what it looks like when it dries. Cool. Back in a minute. Guys, here we go. I got these Ram emblems finished for the wife's truck. So that's what the black and purple looks like. And actually started taping this one up. So I'm putting this one back together right now. And I'll show you guys this real quick. But as I pop them back together, these are all the little areas that we took the screwdriver to yesterday and popped the tabs off so we can pull them apart. So once I pop it back together, I just fill all those up with glue and lock it back down. Any kind of plastic glue will work for you. And that's pretty much it. And I'm putting 3M tape on it now to help hold it on. But there you go. That's what they're gonna look like. Definite improvement, I think. Hopefully it'll look good on our truck. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Pop them apart, sand them, scuff them up, paint them, and then put them back together, and then you can put them back on the truck. So the 1500s came out pretty good too. Here those are, and I'm still working on putting all this stuff back together, but that purple really pops on there, really pops. So I think they turned out pretty good, but it's that simple. Just pop them apart, paint them, and then slap them back together. All right, that's it. We'll get these things, finish getting these things all put back together and get them put on the truck.